I grew up on the south side of Chicago, Black Chicago, segregated Chicago, a place where you lived and saw close up racial disparities, racial injustice every single day. And here was this newsletter that was naming race, was calling out race, and forcing policymakers to address the problems. I started as an intern, a little bitty intern out of grad school, and I worked my way up eventually to become the editor and publisher of The Reporter, and it's the pinnacle of my career and of my work and of my life's work to make change and to bring racial justice to Chicago. John A. McDermott was the founder and great leader of the Chicago Reporter for many, many years. You know, he wasn't trained as a journalist, but he used to like to write stuff. And he would write notes sometimes around me and put them around the office. It was a powerful note he would send me from time to time, especially if I did a story that sung, a story that really hit home. And he would write me a note and say, "Congratulations, great job, Laura. I'm expecting great things from you." When Harold Washington was running for mayor, I was out there covering his campaign. And it seemed like almost every campaign stop, he would cite the Chicago Reporter. And he would say, "The Chicago Reporter did a story about inequities in the police department. The Chicago Reporter did a story about the Park District and the terrible job they were doing at serving communities of color. The Chicago Reporter would do a story about health disparities. The Chicago Reporter would do a story about the horrible housing that people of color in Chicago had to face, that they had to live in." And he would cite those stories over and over and over again. And he'd say, "I'm going to change that. I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to respond to the kinds of disparities that the Chicago Reporter has been pointing out for years." And when he got into office, we kept him honest. He brought about some change. He did bring some great reforms to city government. And it was while we were watching and prodding him. That's real power. That's real impact. And that's the kind of impact that the Chicago Reporter has been showing up for since 1972. The Chicago Reporter brings impact. The Chicago Reporter forces policymakers to change. Policymakers like Harold Washington, like Lisa Madigan, like many other powerful leaders, mayors, governors, attorney generals, aldermen. People listen and pay attention when the Chicago Reporter reports.